Spokesmodel Mini Course. I'm so glad you decided to come back and tune in. This is going to be a really, really awesome lesson that I think is going to be so valuable to you. Because if you tuned in yesterday, you heard me break down exactly what Spokesmodel teams have done in my business and what they can do in your business, but you probably feel a little overwhelmed at the entire concept because you probably still don't even understand really how it works or how the teams should be structured to grow your business and get you a good return on your time and your money investment. So that's what we're going to break down today, and I'm super pumped about it. So if you have a Spokesmodel program, it should be broken down into two different pieces like this. Incentives, which are the things that you provide to your spokesmodels. So the incentives are the things that incentivize them to apply, to make them excited about the team and make them want to be a part of your team versus maybe another senior photographer in the areas. The second piece should be the requirements, the things that your seniors or your spokesmodels are required to do in return of the incentives. So things like posting about you on social media, referring people to your business, using you as their sole senior photographer. What are they required to do in order to get those incentives as being a part of the Spokesmodel team? So here are a few examples of incentives, and then I'm going to break down some of my favorite ones. But examples of incentives or things to incentivize your seniors to be excited about your Spokesmodel team would be free shoots, maybe Spokesmodel events and parties for them to build relationships and friendships with these girls on the team, prints and products that maybe they get for free or at a discount, digital files that can be included in their shoot or maybe earned through additional referrals, gifts, cash back, a referral program, being featured on your blog. All of these things are really exciting ways to get your seniors pumped about your Spokesmodel team and incentivize them to apply for yours over someone else's. You also want to make sure that these incentives add a ton of value for them because you should be charging a fee for them to be a part of your team, which means they need to validate the fact that there's a ton of value in being one of your spokesmodels. Here's a few of my favorite incentives to include in my Spokesmodel team. Free shoots. I like to work with my spokesmodels as much as possible throughout the year. So they're paying me the cost of one full senior session, but they're getting 5 to 10 times the shoots, the content, and the fun of a normal senior. So I want to work with them as often as possible by giving them things like mini sessions, group styled shoots, senior sessions, images in their cap and gown. I'm photographing them as much as possible throughout the year. The second thing is Spokesmodel only events. I like to host events like meet and greets and senior parties, game nights, dinners, bowling. I want these girls to build relationships with each other just as much as I want them to build relationships with me. Because my goal would be that even after their senior year ends, we're like a whole big happy family for years and years to come. And that has remained true for my past Spokesmodel teams, and I think these Spokesmodel events are what makes that happen. And lastly, a referral program. My Spokesmodels get money back for every referral that they send to my business, and I track those referrals with my senior questionnaire. So anytime a senior books me, they fill out a questionnaire and they can let me know if one of my Spokesmodels sent them my way. And then that Spokesmodel will get some money back. And if you guys download the free workbook below, you're actually going to get access to my senior questionnaire for free so that you can start using that in your business if you'd like to, whether just for normal senior clients or to track your spokesmodels like I do. And then let's talk about some examples of requirements, things that your spokesmodels should be required to do in return for those incentives that you've been giving them. Things like paying a spokesmodel fee to be a part of the team in the first place, referrals, sending people to your business by posting on social media and recommending you to their friends and their peers at school. Social media sharing, participation and involvement in all of your events and shoots, modeling for events and shoots, having them as your sole photographer for the senior year, posting behind the scenes from your shoots and events. There's so many things that you can require of your spokesmodels to help you build your business. Some of my favorite requirements to include are 1, social media sharing. I require my spokesmodels to post about my business on social media 2 to 3 times a month, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. They're required to post about me somewhere 2 to 3 times each month they're on the team. I also require active participation, not just from the senior, but from her parents as well. I want them to actively participate in the online community and the group message with the shoots and the events. I don't require them to attend everything, but I do expect them to actively participate and communicate with me throughout the year. I also require them to refer people to my business. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to book me, but I require them to pass out business cards, share about me online, and tell their peers about me if anybody asks asks for a senior photographer recommendation. And lastly, they're required to use me as their sole photographer. I already mentioned this, but they are only allowed to work with me for senior pictures for their entire year. So there's no conflict of interest. They are only marketing me for the entirety of their senior year. But there's 3 things to think about here when you're structuring your spokesmodel team. There are so many ways to structure the team, and I want to be sure that you're structuring your team in a way that is most beneficial for you, because the way that I structure my team may not be beneficial to your business because we may be in different seasons or in different markets or have different needs in our businesses right now. So there's 3 things that I want you to think about when you're determining how to structure your spokesmodel team. Number 1, what does your business need most right now? At the end of yesterday's video, I asked you to brainstorm on what your business needs right now specifically, because there are so many different things that your business could need from you right now. Maybe you need content because you've never photographed a senior before and you don't have any senior images to share in the first place. And in that case, you should probably include more shoots as requirements and incentives because you need that additional content. Maybe you need more word of mouth marketing. Maybe that's where you're struggling right now. You have a lot of senior content because you photographed friends or colleagues or peers, but you need more marketing. You need those secret agents to get into your market and talk about you. So maybe you need to include more social media requirements. Maybe instead of posting 2 to 3 times a month, they need to post 4 to 5 times a month. Or maybe you'll pass out referral cards for them to share at school. Or maybe you need additional bookings. Obviously, we all want additional bookings and additional income, but maybe the income isn't a priority. Maybe you have income from another job or another section of your business, and so additional bookings aren't a priority for you. But if they are, if that's your main goal here, you're going to really want to incentivize your girls with an amazing referral program that's going to have them send more and more people to your business. So you want to structure your team according to what you need, not necessarily what other people in your market are doing, not necessarily what I'm doing, but what your business needs right now. That's what you need to filter everything through when determining what your incentives and requirements are going to be. But I also want you to remember the concept of under-promising and over-delivering. Instead of promising 7 shoots to your spokesmodels throughout the year, it would be better to set their expectation low by under-promising and then purposefully exceeding that expectation or over-delivering. So instead of promising 5 shoots, I'll promise 1 shoot and then give them 5 throughout the year, which will make them feel so loved and so excited because they weren't expecting it. But I found that if I promise 5 shoots, it's more likely for me to end up having to cancel 1 or for the girls to not participate than if I promise 1 and offer 5 later on. Remember the concept of under-promising and over-delivering, and only include a small number of things in your contract that you're going to promise them, but plan to over-deliver accordingly and give them more than what they're expecting. Because you never want to feel resentful of your team. I talked about in yesterday's video that I used to feel so frustrated and so resentful about my team because I was giving them so much, I had promised them so much, and I wasn't getting the return I needed because I didn't plan and strategize ahead of time nearly enough. So make sure you're only promising them enough things that they are going to be so excited about your team and incentivized to apply, but not promising them so much that you feel exhausted and drained and resentful. And lastly, think about what the seniors care about, not necessarily what you care about. And by that, I mean that seniors don't really care about the same things that we care about. And I learned that the hard way. And the example that I always give when I talk about this is that I hosted a huge over-the-top stylized welcome event for my spokesmodels my first year I was hosting a team. I paid for food and a beautiful candy bar setup, and I had a pink carpet out front and a balloon arch at my doorway. And what I realized the hard way was that they don't really care about the pretty party details. They cared about the photo booth that I spent basically no money on. Here's some pictures from that event that I took. You can see there's an adorable candy table set up. There's balloons out front, a pink carpet, all of these cute details. Nobody posted pictures of those details from the shoot. They were basically all a waste of money because this is what the girls posted from that event. That backdrop was already in my studio. I didn't spend any money on that. Those props were $5 on Amazon, and all the girls posted were selfies in that photo booth. I had a ring light set up, and they just loved how pretty their skin and their eyes looked in the selfies, so that's what they posted from the entire event. I almost wasted hundreds of dollars. I did waste hundreds of dollars on details and all of these things that the seniors don't care about because all they cared about were the fun selfies in the photo booth. So try to put yourself in the mind of a senior and think like a senior. If I was a senior in high school, would I really care about this stylized event, or would I just really want some awesome pictures pictures of myself to share on social media. Try to think like a senior when you're planning out your incentives and requirements so you're not wasting time and doing things that may not actually be worth it. In your workbook today, I have a section for you to jot down your incentives and requirements because before tomorrow's video, I want you to have brainstormed what your incentives and your requirements for your spokesmodel are going to be. You can use examples I give or you can brainstorm on your own, but filter it through those 3 things that I just mentioned. What your business needs right now, not what mine is or what someone else in your market is. What does your business need right now? Remember that concept of under-promising and over-deliver. Don't promise them the whole world, just give them the whole world later on. And then thirdly, try to think like a senior as you're planning out your incentives and requirements. Tomorrow, I am so excited to talk all about the spokesmodel application and the importance of the questions that you ask and how to structure that. By the end of tomorrow's lesson, you're gonna have an application ready to go live, so make sure you do today's homework in the workbook below and get access to that senior questionnaire so that you're ready to go tomorrow, and I will see you for day 3.